Hey guys, got in a pretty interesting flashlight from Trustfire. I've never owned any of their flashlights. I've had a bunch of like their little 10440 batteries. I've had these for probably 5 years or more, and I run them in all my AAA size flashlights, and these things have been charged hundreds of times and still work really well. So anyways, they reached out to me and asked if I would take a look at one of their lights, and this is what they wanted to send. It's the T30R. It's a laser tactical flashlight, and the lumens is not all that impressive, only 460, but I'll show you something that's kind of unique here in a second on it. But as you can see, it's a laser flashlight. It's got a battery indicator, Type-C charging, 1 meter drop test, IP68 waterproof rating on it. See some stuff there. This is the very unique and impressive part about this. The candela is over 300,000, and I'll kind of show you why whenever we get this thing opened up, but there's some stuff there. If you want to pause and read that, we'll probably go over most of that. And there is a QR code. If you want to scan that, you can go right to their website. So let's get it opened up and we'll see what all comes in this box here. So I got some padding. Looks like an O-ring, and then maybe a lanyard or a keychain loop there. We got a manual, cleaning cloth for that front lens, USB-C, so A to C cable. There is a lanyard there. It's like a little carrying bag. And then it looks like the light itself. There might be a battery in here. We'll check that out in a minute. And as you can see, there's like a film cover. So we'll take that off. And then let's check to see if there is a battery in it. A little bit stiff at first on that. And yes, there is a battery. And then there was a little film that was on the opposite end. That was down in there. Usually they're on this end of the battery, but so, and that is a battery that comes in it. It's an 18650, 3000 milliamps. And before I put the battery back in, there is a spring down there, and there's a spring there. Decently thick walls on the body. Some quick dimensions on the T30R is it is 6.2 inches in length. The head diameter is just over an inch. It's 1.2 inches. And the body is right about an inch. So it will fit in your 1-inch flashlight mounts. And having the dual springs, it will definitely work okay on a rifle. And the weight with the battery in it is 5.8 ounces. So what makes this flashlight somewhat unique is that it's an LEP, and what that means is that it uses a laser. That stands for laser excited phosphor. So imagine a laser pointer that you can shine that thing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet. Well, this is basically the same thing, but it's a white light that you can shine for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet. In fact, this is supposed to have a beam distance of 1100 meters. So I'll give you guys some up close here of the light kind of right out of the box. It's got a really nice anodization, a little bit of a sheen but not too shiny. You got some grooves, texturing going this way on the body, going the opposite direction on the tail. Does have a tail switch back here and then a side switch here. Got a little bit of sinking up here. Crenulated bezel. Not much of like an attack or a strike bezel, but there is some crenulation there. And that does look like that you could open that. Pocket clip does not appear to be reversible unless the body is reversible. I'll look at that in a minute, but it is removable. So if you do want to put that on a flashlight mount, you can. That clip is not reversible. They are different types of, different size of threads. That's the way it was. These are slightly smaller. and will not thread into that. So clip can only go one way. And it has the USB-C port for charging right there. And speaking of charging, we'll go ahead and get it charged up here. So we got a red indicator. I believe that will turn green once it's fully charged. Okay, so I got the T30R all charged up. Before we go over operation of it, I'll kind of quickly show you guys the manual here. Everything's in pretty good English. It kind of goes over like a description of the light, goes over the instructions, how to use everything. We can see that it does have a memory mode and it has SOS. There again are some more of the specs that we talked about on the box earlier. It does have a battery indicator. So when you turn it on, if you're green, basically means you're between 80 and 100% on your battery. If it were yellow, you're between 30 and 80%. If you're red, somewhere between 10 and 30%. And if it's flashing red, it's below 10%. You need to get it on the charger. And the battery that's included is a protected battery, which is the one that's showing up here. You can use non-protected. It says use with caution, but we'll try it out with a non-protected one here in a bit too. And you can also use 2 of the CR123A batteries. We'll try that out, but you cannot use 2 of the 16340. That would basically double your voltage. And that's too high for this light. And it does have a bunch of safety stuff on it, low voltage warnings, anti-reverse. If you put the battery in wrong, it won't work, it won't damage the light. All right, so operation of the T30R is very simple. You have your main switch back here, and then this changes your mode or different brightness levels. You can like half or like soft depress the tail and get the light, or you can fully click it on and have it be on like that. So again, partial or full. Once it's on, then you use the side switch to toggle through the different brightnesses. So you basically have a low, medium, and high. In the side switch is the battery indicator, and every time you turn it on, it'll come on to let you know what your battery strength is for 5 seconds, and then it shuts off. But it will do that every single time that you turn it on. The memory mode, so let's say I turn it on and I'm in the high mode, and then I use the low mode and I shut it off. When I turn it back on an hour later, a day later, a month later, it's going to be in that low mode again. I will tell you guys with the SOS mode, it says when the light is off, long press the next switch for 1.5 seconds to enter the SOS mode. So obviously the light is off, all right? And if we long press this for 1.5 seconds, it doesn't do anything at all. The light actually has to be on. So I just turned the light on. Now I'm gonna long press this for the 1.5 seconds, and now you can see it goes into like a strobe. I would not call this SOS either. It's more like an inconsistent strobe on it. But yeah, you cannot access with the light off. It has to be turned on, so the manual is wrong on that part. We'll try it out with a different 18650, and as you can see, the Trustfire one is quite a bit longer, and that's because of like the protection that they put in it. But let's drop this one in, and we'll see what we get here. I assume it's gonna work, but yep, that works perfectly fine. We'll cycle through the different modes. Yep, appears to be the same brightness with that. And let's also try those 2 CR123A batteries. They are kind of looser in there. They are smaller than what an 18650 is, a little bit, but all right, let's see what we get here. Yep, it works fine. And again, we'll cycle through. They may not be quite as bright because this is only 3 volts with 2 of those in there as opposed to the 3.7 volts, but that does work. All right, let's take this outside and see how it performs. All right, guys, out here with this Trustfire, not the darkest of nights, but still should give you an idea of what this little light's capable of. I'm about probably 30 yards away from this tree here. We'll kind of go toward the trunk of the tree first. You can see this is literally like a lightsaber. Just right wherever you point it. All right, trees down this way is about 80 yards away. And I've tried zooming in on that tree right there right now. And again, I'm about 80 yards away from this tree. All right, there's a pile of cut up trees down here. It's about 200 yards away. Again, with my eyes right now, I can see that super clear. I'm gonna try to zoom in for you guys so you can see it too. Again, about 200 yards away. So even though that light's on there, I'll show you how bright this light gets up in this tree here. And let me zoom in for you. And these trees over here are about 100 yards away. I mean, it really is just like a spotlight from almost like a helicopter or something. And this area here will kind of show you its weakness. It's not really designed to be like a wall of light or a floodlight. So you can see it doesn't light up that area very well, but you can see how that dot, that beam, that hot spot just goes forever. So the throw on this little light is absolutely insane. I've never had a flashlight quite like this. The area that I kind of test in, it goes out to about 400 yards, and I could easily see that distance, and I know I could go beyond that. You know, I record everything with an iPhone, and the camera adjusts so much for the light. I wish you guys could see what this looked like in person. It's pretty phenomenal. But this would be great for nighttime hunting, perfect for search and rescue, for fire departments, even for law enforcement. I probably wouldn't have this as my primary carry light because it doesn't have enough spill. So like if you did need to like illuminate a room or an alleyway or even a parking lot, it's probably not great for that, but I would have it like in my patrol vehicle for the search and rescue missions, stuff like that. My wife and I went on a camping trip this past weekend, and I took this light with us just to kind of see what it could do around the lake and stuff. And I could hear other campers saying, "What is that light? What's going on over there? I've never seen anything like that." So it was pretty fun just to mess around with this light. I even heard a teenage kid tell his dad, "Hey, check out that flashlight." And the dad is like, "Yeah, that's really badass." So in my opinion, this is not for like a homeowner. It really is like a dedicated searchlight, tactical light, or like a weapon light. So I'm gonna leave a link down in the video description. If you wanna find out more information about this Trustfire T30R, it'll be down there. And if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below as well. All right, guys, that's gonna be it on this one. Thanks for watching, I appreciate it.